Alright y'all, what is going on? Back with another video, and today I want to talk about the Xbox 360, and it got an update. I don't know why it did, but we'll talk about that in a second. Today is Thursday. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. The weekend is almost here, and on the weekends I usually go live. So Saturday morning I plan on going live. We're going to talk about all the topics that happen throughout the week. Also, I want to talk about some other things that are outside of the topics, and I will be going live when it comes to me playing SOCOM 4. I'm going to try to finish that up, so hopefully you guys will come through, check that out. All the links are down in the description on all the platforms that I go live on, as well as my TikTok and X account. So alright, sounds good, awesome. Hopefully you guys follow me over there. With that being said, let's talk about the Xbox 360. Man, the Xbox 360 got an update. Why? I don't know, but apparently they updated the dashboard. Now, I haven't looked at this yet. I saw it last night. I just never had a chance to go around to actually, cut on my Xbox 360 to see the update or whatever the case may be. But they updated the dashboard, and the dashboard has an update where it is advertising the Xbox Series S and X. Like, why they didn't do this a while back? If you go into, I think it is the PS3. I don't know if they do this or not, but I know with the PS3, I think they advertised the PS4. I don't know about the PS5, and I can't remember the PS4. I haven't had my PS4 in a while, but I know like some of these older consoles are trying to advertise this. It's kind of crazy, but nevertheless, the Xbox 360 does not really need to be online, so I don't know why they're updating it, because of the store's not there anymore. At least with the PS3, the store is still there, but at the same time, they're updating it, and you can, click links on the dashboard to get an Xbox Series. But I don't know. I thought about that, and I saw it, and I was like, this is very weird. Why would they do that? But what I will do, I will be going into it to check it out and see where that goes. Now, if you really want my opinion on some of this stuff, what I think they need to do, I think they need to update the Xbox 360 so it can function a little bit better as far as if having it hooked up to the internet. The Xbox 360 has a lot of functionality outside of it being, linked to the store, but it's not very valuable, but it's there. And if they have it there, I wouldn't mind for them to update that if that's the case. Like I said, I haven't been there yet. All I know is that they have updated a few things to make it, function a little bit better, but there's a lot of things on the dashboard that could be of worth. So I will check that out as well. But nevertheless, the store is not there, so there's no need of this. I think, honestly, it's somewhat of a waste of money to do it, but hey, Xbox got all the money, right? They can do what they want to. Another thing that makes me think about this as well is that apparently there's a lot of people still on the 360. And I think that's a bigger issue or a bigger phenomenon than people will want to think so. A lot of people still play their PS3s. A lot of people still play their Xbox 360s. And apparently Microsoft knows this, because they wouldn't update a console that's nobody's on. And I talked about this in my PS3 update. They updated the PS3 because people are still on that console. And it probably doesn't cost them much to, give them these small updates. So with that being said, it also makes me think about the 7th generation of games. 7th generation of games are highly popular, and to be honest, I see a lot of people playing those type of games on their PC as well as playing them on their current consoles. A lot of people don't say that people don't do this, people don't do that. Game Pass is only X amount of percent. Apparently it's big enough for them to continue to support it, and I think that's actually pretty cool. Now, how long would I think that'll be? I'm not sure. I don't think that this is a thing that could be necessarily sustained to be supported. What I would like for them to do is just do a great send-off for these consoles and just let people get what they want out of them and let it be. This is one thing I did like about when I talked about a stop killing games thing, what Xbox did with Forza. They kind of did it with Xbox 360 as well. They let people know, hey, we're about to close it. You guys better get what you need to get, because once it's done, it's done. And I think Nintendo did the same thing to a degree, and it worked for that as well. So I think that the resources for these consoles are honestly not needed. I don't think there was any need to have an Xbox 360 update, but it's cool. I don't think it's needed. I think overall, I think that they need to just make sure it's stable enough so when you go offline you wouldn't have any worries. Like right now I can go play my Wii U and it's fairly stable. It's cool. You know, I can go back and play, you know, my PS3. I don't need to have that online, but the only reason why I have that online is because you can still get into the PS3 store for now. You know, and I'm trying to figure out, is there any more games I want on that PlayStation Store, because when that closes, you know, that's going to be a wrap. But for the most part, the PS3 is actually, you know, stable outside of the CMOS battery thing, which I'm surprised they haven't fixed that yet. So the 360 just need to do the same thing. They just need to make sure that the console is stable enough that, you know, whatever they got implemented in it stays in it and you can continue to play. Now, this is another thing that I think as well, that honestly the honestly I think the Xbox 360 is fairly stable. I think it is, and it shouldn't have any issues going forward unless you got that original I keep saying PS3, the original Xbox 360 that's possibly, you know, subject to have the red ring of death. You might want to stay away from that one. And I mean, I have one of those, and there is in the closet. I don't use that one. But the Xbox 360 I do have is fairly stable, and it doesn't need an internet connection to play pretty much most of their games. You know, so you're good for the most part, you know, and it's still backwards compatible with the original Xbox in some cases. You know, about half of the original Xbox library does play on the 360, so that works out, and for the most part, you're good. And you know, unless if you're into like hacking and jailbreaking your Xbox 360, you know, you're in a good spot. You're in a good spot at the end of the day. And I think that if you are interested, now I will say this, even though this is kind of like a sidetrack of the video, if you're interested and you haven't got your hands on one, I wouldn't, you know, be against buying one and start collecting a few games for the 360. It's not a bad choice to pick up, even though some of, you know, some of their games you can play them on Xbox Series or Xbox One. You know, either way you can't go wrong at the end of the day. You know, I just think that when it comes to the last group of consoles that just will function no matter what, internet connection or not, then you got it with the PlayStation 3 outside of the CMOS battery situation, which I think PlayStation will end up patching that eventually. The Wii U, which is, you know, yeah, who really plays the Wii U now still, right? I'm pretty sure it has a really big following, but yeah. And the Xbox 360, the 7th generation, you know, or around the 7th generation consoles, they're basically good to go offline. They're pretty much good to go. And I know somebody's probably going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think the Wii U is not a 7th generation console. But yeah, you know what I mean. You're good to go with those consoles. You can play them offline, you'll be fine. And there's another reason why I thought, why is this console getting an update? Why did the Xbox 360 get an update? You know, I understand why the PS3 got one at the end of the day. They still have their store to run, so that PS3 store is still up and running. So I kind of understand why it's an update over there. But the Xbox 360 don't have a store, but they did one anyway. I don't know, I thought it was weird. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Have y'all seen this update? I know it's very small, but I'm going to check it out when I get home. And yeah, I just thought that was pretty fascinating. I just think at the end of the day, I think it shows that there are people that are on the Xbox 360 and they're still playing it to this day. And that's why that advertisement that they put on there to get an Xbox Series and Xbox Series X is on the 360, because they're trying to get people off the console. That's my thought. That's my thoughts and opinions. So y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna get up out of here. I will be going live this weekend. Hopefully you guys will check it out and come through and chat. I really appreciate y'all. Like, share, subscribe, and all right, I'm out. Peace.